So losing weight means you're definitely going to lose muscle. Well, actually that's not correct. And in this video, I'm going to explain how you can lean down, still stay strong, potentially gain muscle and look great. So what happens very often is people diet really hard, lose lots of weight, but in the process they also lose muscle as well, which leaves them looking very flat, weak, and more just like a smaller version of themselves as to when they were overweight. And now this is why it's important to emphasize before I start to speak about anything else that the goal isn't just weight loss. The goal is fat loss specifically. There's a difference between the two. Fat loss is just a reduction in body fat. Weight loss could be body fat, it could be muscle. I could cut off my leg right now and that would be very painful, but I'd probably lose about 20 kg. So that would also be weight loss. So again, it's fat loss you want to be focusing on, not weight loss. So now that brings up the question of how do you ensure you just lose body fat and keep or even potentially gain valuable muscle? And the first point, and this is going to be in no particular order, is keep your protein high. So when you lose weight, your body can either burn fat or muscle for energy. And you want to do everything in your power to ensure it's body fat. And this is why it's really important to keep that protein intake high, because protein intake helps with the building blocks for muscle. So when it comes to determining your protein intake, I would say aim for about 0.7 to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, if you've got a lot of body fat to lose, this might leave you eating too much protein. So I would say in that scenario, aim for about 0.7 to a gram of protein times your goal body weight. So instead of your body weight, do your goal body weight. And then the next very important point is I would say strength train about anywhere between 2 to 5 times weekly, maybe 3 to 4 times is a good sweet spot, because muscle, if you don't use it, you will lose it, and it's as simple as that. So ensure you're consistent with your strength training, you're prioritizing that over cardio, and you are progressively overloading your strength training over time. That's a key factor as well. And then the third point I want to mention in this video is do not cut your calories way too aggressively. Now, I do feel like aggressive calorie deficits do have its time and place. I think the mistake many people make is thinking that's the only way they have to do it, or they're so impatient that they think that's all they can do. I think ironically sometimes slowing it down can speed it up, because then you're not always going around in circles, because you can only stick with aggressive calorie deficits for so long. So I would say have more of just a smaller calorie deficit. At the end of the day, you're still in a calorie deficit, so you're still going to lose body fat. Whereas if you have too much of an aggressive calorie deficit, then it is a recipe for losing muscle as well, and undoubtedly giving up eventually, just because you can only stick with an aggressive calorie deficit for so long before you think life just sucks. And then the next point is manage your stress, manage your recovery, sleep well. Many studies show that when you've got two groups who, and I'm not going to get into the details, this is fitness in 5, I've got to explain everything in less than 5 minutes, but you've got two groups, both are trying to lose body fat, one sleeps much less than the other. The group that sleeps much less than the other loses more muscle and less body fat, whereas the group that's sleeping well loses more body fat and less muscle. So go figure. And then the final point that I need to mention is do not just rely on scale weight. That is a common mistake I see all the time. I'm always telling my one-to-one online fitness members, do not just rely on scale weight. I want to see your measurements. I want to see your progress pictures every once in a while. I want to know how your old clothes are fitting. These are all important as well, because when you're resistance training and you're focusing on your protein intake and you're trying to build muscle while simultaneously trying to lose body fat, the scale weight simply isn't going to budge as quickly, because again, muscle needs to weigh something as well. So you have to bear that in mind. It's not going to go down as fast. And oftentimes when people are undergoing, drastic body composition improvements and they're seeing massive progress, at least in their progress pictures, the scale wouldn't exactly show that, because it stays pretty similar or it doesn't go down as fast. And when this is the case, again, it depends on your starting point as well, but often when this is the case, people feel like they're not making progress, whereas in reality, they're making tremendous progress. And this is why it's important you stay on top of all indicators of progress. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed this video. So remember, the goal is not just weight loss. The goal is to lose body fat specifically while keeping or trying to increase muscle mass and strength. Okay, so that's what we're really after. And then if you want to support a small business as well, buy my book. I dive into everything fat loss in this on an even deeper level. So yeah, if you found this video very useful, then consider buying this through Amazon via the link in the caption of this video.